As this is working now, I should just be happy for small wins, right? Don't need to have everything working perfectly the first time. But I would like it. All right. Okie doke. Slow breathing, and we know how to kind of get ourselves into that place, but if it's been a while since you've done it, you may need to really focus on that for the next few seconds. Slow breathing in and out. And then, oh my God. Start to breathe through the nose. We want to have that inhale, exhale through the nose. As you're exhaling, we're letting the body know this is the time that we're going to start relaxing. Getting rid of the camera. Starting to relax, starting to let go of tension. Even if you've just woken up and you haven't done a whole lot, it's pretty normal to carry tension in our bodies, definitely in our brains, right? But, right away, if you wake up and you see, that you have a lot of tension in the body, we're going to let that go right now because it will enhance our practice, make our bodies more available for the movements that we want to work on. And again, just trying to be kind to ourselves rather than thinking about if you didn't do what your intention was during the break. At least we're here today, getting through all of the technical problems, and we're going to go ahead and get moving. So on those inhalations, start working them into the upper body. Let the chest rise up, get into the lungs and the ribs, feel that expansion through the whole body, right? Front and back. And then also we want to have the belly involved. So we don't want to we don't want to force it to happen. Allow it to gradually and naturally happen. And then, yeah, I guess I should have gotten my music together a little bit sooner. I apologize for that. And the main reason I like to have some yoga music in the background is because it keeps me on track time-wise, so I don't end up taking so much of your time. But it's just not going to work today, so that's okay. So now that the breathing is a little slower and deeper, hopefully you're feeling more relaxed. Be kind to yourself today. If you get into some movements that feel difficult, challenging, strength-wise or flexibility-wise, once again, just know that this is what it is today. And you're always hoping that it might get better, maybe to the point that you expect it to. But if it happens today, great. And if it doesn't, we've always got next time. You've always got your own practice as well. So just be aware that it's always a process. I don't think we're gonna ever get to the point where we're like, well, I'm done. I've gotten to every yoga goal that I ever needed. But even if you did, you wouldn't stop, right? So now that you're comfortable, I'm just going to check my audio one more time. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's get the knees bent and get the feet on the mat. And as we do that, what we're trying to do is get the back long. So if you want to maybe lift the hips up, and even though we're not going to have our back flat into the mat right now, we do want to feel it as long as possible, right? So the heels, each heel is going to line up with the center of the glutes, right? Now move those shoulders, spread them apart. You want to feel like you're stretching across the front of the chest, right into the collarbone from shoulder to shoulder. Stretch the neck, bring the arms alongside you. Even the arm, try to stretch the fingers away from you, but then relax, right? We want to try to keep the length without having the tension, so we're not pushing our hands down, but the palms are at the mat. So take another breath or two here. Feel that belly. We've still got that connection to the belly on the inhale. And we've got that exhale, letting the belly pull in. If you want to do a little contraction, if you want to work on that today, fine. Inhale again, expand. Exhale again, release the tension in the body, in the mind. And if you want to add that little contraction, that's up to you today. I'm not going to focus on it today. We're going to work much more on getting the body moving again, feeling a little bit looser, more flexible. So 2 more breaths here with no kind of movement. All right, next inhale, bring the arms over the head as far back as you can go, and just in one breath. And on the exhale, we're going to bring the arms back to the mat. So we need to do a few of those to just start working the arms. And it's really not just the arms, there's a lot more happening here in the shoulder and upper back. You might even feel it in the chest as well. So again, inhale, reach up and overhead. Feel those fingertips stretching as far back as possible. Use the whole exhalation to bring your arms back to the mat. And let's do 2 more. All right. So add a little bit of lower body into this now. Arms up, inhale. Exhale, right knee to the chest. Inhale, reach overhead again. Exhale, left knee up. So your breathing pattern is most likely different from mine. So keep yours slow and regular and just work at your own pace. So whenever you are exhaling, you should be bringing a knee toward the chest. Use the hands to gently help. Whenever you're inhaling, you're bringing those arms back down to the mat, stretching and still letting that belly fill up. So go right and left a few times. Again, don't rush, of course, but even your slower breathing will probably not match mine exactly. So we just want to work at our own pace, listen to our bodies. I think once more, right and left. All right, now when you get to the right again, right knee, once you make that right knee in, we're just going to hold here. Just pull the knee in. How does it feel? Does it feel good, like you're able to get those muscles to start releasing? Or is it your body kind of tightening up, like what are you doing? Breathe in. On the exhale, see if you can just pull the knee in a little bit. All right, and we're going to start to move the leg just out and in at first, so you can keep your hand on it, or you can just let the leg move freely on its own. Up to you. But try to keep the hips level with each other on the mat, and just open that knee and start seeing what's happening inside that inner thigh. All right, so we're going to gradually go from that to a little bit more of a circular motion. You can go either direction because we're always going to go both. Good. Go the other way. Again, I would much rather you take longer and do more of each movement and catch up at some point than to just do 2 or 3 each way. Really give your body, especially this first class back, I don't know what else you guys have been doing, but give your body time to really warm up. We have this, what they call muscle memory, right? And so what that means is when your body has learned how to do certain types of movements, you are able to do them, I don't want to say quicker. I guess your body recognizes the movement and does it mostly correctly, right? But when it's been a while, even though we have that muscle memory, we don't have the range of motion maybe, especially if you've been sitting a lot, traveling, that tends to do it, like when you're having to sit in a plane or a car. So again, today we're just taking some extra time to get things moving. When that hip feels a little warmed up, extend the leg up and then let the knee bend again and extend the leg up. Do this about 5 times before we leave the foot up. So you don't have to lock the knee tight when you extend, just straighten as much as you can. When you get to 5 or so, you're going to take the hands behind the leg, and you can use a strap here, but I do want your foot to be able to move pretty freely right now. So maybe just keeping the hands here and flexing and pointing and getting that foot moving. Remember to do something like this every day, at least one time. You don't have to get on the floor. You can do it wherever you are. When you take your shoes, put them on, take them off, whatever. But keep your feet moving. If they aren't working properly, the whole body can't work properly. Let's get the circles going at some point. Good. Now we're going to go both ways on that, just like we do with the hip circles. All right, and then just extend, press the heel away from you. Now, if you can take the hands down a little bit, you can go lower on the leg, which is deeper on the stretch. But if it forces your body off the mat, it's too much. If it forces your hip off the mat, it's too much. So trying to get into that full extension here. And I know that we could probably do more if we took time with the straps, but we're not going to do that today. But we're still doing a pretty thorough warm-up before we stand up. So stretch out that left leg now. Keep the right leg stretched up. Flex both of your feet as if you're standing on them. So energy into the feet. Might take a minute for the front of the, not a minute, but for the front of the hip to feel like it's relaxed. So that muscle's getting elongated. Take one more breath here. Now on this next inhale, I want you to bend just your right knee. Take your left hand to the right knee and open that right arm. This is all as you're inhaling. Exhale, twist and pull that knee across. Go into it carefully. See how it feels today. Again, if this is something you've been doing every day, great. If not, ease into it. Keeping the right shoulder down. All right, and then we're going to roll onto our backs. We're going to bring both feet onto the mat, lift the hips up, get everything set up into that same bent knees position so we can get onto the other leg. So once everything feels good, we're going to do 3 breaths here. So just, again, inhaling, feeling that expansion. Exhaling, letting go of any tension that you might have acquired. 2 more times. All right, next inhale, arms go over the head. On the exhale, bring that left knee into the chest. Again, I'm going to keep you here. I am going to try my music one more time. If that doesn't work, then we're not using it. But while you're here, again, you're keeping that left knee in. About 2 more breaths, and then you're going to start to move the leg out and in a little bit. So do that for me. I try one last time. I don't know why sometimes maybe it wasn't all Zoom, maybe some of it was internet as well. Okay, that's good. I don't need that. Okay, no music. So you're moving that left knee out and in a little bit. And then when you feel that you are ready, and then you're going to do those little circles with the knee. Same thing, I want you to do quite a few one way before you go the opposite way. And the hip might be moving just a little bit, but overall we're not letting that left hip come up a whole lot. All right, now that hip feels pretty good, hopefully. Feels a little bit warmer, a little bit looser. We start out slowly extending the left foot up. Extending the left foot up, bending or straightening the knee. Bend the knee, straighten it. You're hearing any creaking, go easy. Couple more. Fully extend and bend like 5 times, and then we'll take it up one more time. And this is what we're going to work into the foot. So start out by just flexing. See how does that feel? Make sure it doesn't sort of cramp. Point. Flex and point a few times. All right, and then from there we start working into circles. Make sure you go both ways on that. All right, and then go ahead and extend a little bit. See how that feels. Are you able to go a little deeper? And if you're not, it's totally fine. We haven't done, even though we did foot and ankle and hip a little bit, we haven't done a lot for hamstrings. So if they're not ready to go real deep today, that's totally fine. But we're going to keep that left leg up, and we're going to stretch out the right leg. So once again, you're going to feel that muscle in front of the hip. Those hip flexors might feel a little bit tight. Give them time to lengthen. Keep both legs extended and press both heels out, especially that bottom leg, like you're standing on that right foot. Sometimes when we relax the foot, we kind of forget about the leg and it kind of drops open. We don't want that right now. We do want to keep the toes pointing straight ahead. All right. So on the next inhale, you're going to do a few things. You're going to bend the left knee. You're going to open the left arm. Take your right hand outside that knee. And then as you exhale, let's pull and twist that knee over to the right. Make sure you've got some room. Hopefully you can extend that left arm away from you. Ooh. Ooh, I think I haven't done that one in a while. If you get a little cramp, like I just did, come out of it for a moment, let that muscle relax, and then try to go again. Ooh, okay, let's come onto the back again. Let's bring both knees into the chest. We gotta remember, we started at 9:15. Okay, keep us on track. Massage your back a little bit. Now we're not going to go right to hands and knees today. Before we flip over though, let's stretch the legs out long and then bring the arms overhead. So you are as long as you could possibly be, fingertips reaching in one direction, toes in the other. Now as you inhale, I want you to get a little bit longer. As you exhale, relax, but keep the arms overhead, keep the legs long. Let's do that again. Inhale, stretch and hold. Exhale, relax. Let's do one more. Inhale, stretch and hold. And exhale, relax. And we're going to slowly roll over. Come onto your belly. Stretch the legs out. Forehead down for just a little while. Bring those hands not under the shoulders, but a little bit more outside the head. But tuck those elbows close to the upper body, to the ribs. So we're just resting with our forehead here. I'm going to lift up a little bit just so that you can hear me, that I'm not muffled, but you do want to have your whole body relaxed and your forehead down on the mat. So we're going to take a breath in and out. As you inhale, you should feel your belly kind of pushing into the mat. As you exhale, you're going to feel like you're pulling it in a little bit, like you're lifting it up off the mat. So inhale again. Keep the elbows close to the body. Exhale, contract. This inhale, lift just your forehead up. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift the forehead. Maybe you want to lift some of the chest up, but we're not going to look forward. We're going to keep our eyes looking straight down. Exhale, lower. Inhale now, a little bit more of a cobra. So as you inhale, forehead and chest up, and look to the front edge of your mat. Pull the shoulders back and down, and pull your elbows tight to the ribs. And exhale, lower back down. And one more time, inhale, lift up into a cobra, however you feel, however far you want to go. And exhale, as you lower, bring your left hand or forearm under the forehead, reach back and grab that right foot. If you need to loop a strap really quickly or towel, something like that, go ahead and do that. Our goal is to work the heel toward the hip, to the back side, right? But we also can push the front of our hip, that right hip bone, into the mat to deepen the stretch. So this is going to be all along the front of your thigh, from knee to hip. Pull the foot in. Don't have that knee angled away from the body. It's parallel to the other leg. Try to keep the rest of the body down and relax. Don't lift your head up like I am. About 3 more breaths here, and then we're going to do one more thing with this right leg before we go over to the left. And I'm going to have to turn this way so you can see what we're going to do, but stay where you are. Okay, so I almost have enough room. So what you're going to do, let go of this right foot. I want you to take this right knee out to the side, and you're going to do a little half frog. Your body's going to be down, but a couple options here. So your knee can be anywhere in line with the hip or lower. Your foot can be either close into the leg like a tree pose type, or further out in line with the knee, or anywhere in between. But don't go too much out beyond the knee, because we want to work that inner thigh really deep, really get into the groin. So you're relaxed here. I want you to stay there with that. Just like we were pressing the front of the hip into the mat when we were pulling the leg behind us. This one, press the inside of that groin on the right side, gently toward the mat. Got warm. Oof. Okay, so you're in that little half frog leg stretch. I'm going to go back to my regular mat position. And then let's slowly come out of that. Stretch the legs both out. Bend the knees a couple times. All right. Keep the right hand or forearm under your forehead, and then we're going to switch over to the left now. So make that contact with the left foot. Pull the heel toward the hip. Press the hip into the mat. If you don't like your forehead on something, you can certainly have your forehead on the mat. You can even turn sideways while you're completely rested here. You wouldn't want to be lifting up here. But if it's better to not have your face on the mat to breathe it in, I understand that. So we're just going to keep working that heel in, pressing the hip forward. I like to elevate my head a little bit. All right, 2 more breaths here. Now we're going to release that foot. Just like we did earlier, we're going to pull that left knee out. Now, if your hip comes way up, in order to bring that knee up, you're going to go down a little bit. The goal is to keep the hips fairly level with each other as we work that inner thigh. So you might have to play around with some different angles of both the knee and the foot in order to find something that you can feel like your hips are pretty level, but you're really working that inner thigh. So again, maybe you're just going to work it in that tree pose position because that's what you want to work on. Doesn't matter. All kinds of variations of what's going to work for each person. 3 more breaths here. All right, as we come out of that, same thing. Bring the legs parallel together, bend both knees a few times, roll the legs side to side a few times. And then go ahead and bring the hands back to palms to the mat, right kind of in front of the shoulders a little bit. Extend the legs long. Inhale to Cobra. As you exhale, come back to the mat and give yourself a big push back into Child's Pose. Keep the arms extended forward. All right, bring the hands in just a little bit. Tuck your toes, come into downward dog. So this is our first downward dog. Stretch back. I want you to feel as if someone is behind you, pulling those hips up and back and lengthening the sides of your body. Feel the tailbone lifting up. Press out the hands. We don't want to feel like the weight's going into the wrist, but we're pressing out and elongating through those arms, up into the shoulders, through the back. Whoops, allow your head to hang. So we don't want to be looking around with the head right now. We just want to let the head hang so your neck's getting a good stretch. Pedal the feet gently. Shift the weight around a few times. Inhale, walk into that plank again. If you want to modify that plank today, just drop those knees. Exhale, lower yourself down. Just a little bit of work there. Inhale into your Cobra again. Exhale, move into that Child's Pose. We're going to do this a little bit quicker, just mostly as a warm-up to really get the blood flowing and get those joints kind of like oiled up. We've already done a little bit of warm-up. So if you want to go slower than this, than what I cue, feel free to do that. We're going to go to downward dog. Get it nice and long as soon as you can. Inhale to your plank or modified plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale to that Cobra pose. Exhale, Child's Pose. Inhale to downward dog. Come into your plank. Next inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, Child's Pose. One more time through at your own pace. I'm not even going to cue it. Now when you get to that next downward dog, after you have flowed through, I want you to be here 3 more breaths. And then whenever you're ready, you can hop, you can jump, you can walk, take 2 giant steps or 4. Come into your forward bend at the front of the mat and just hang. Have some blocks ready if you're not ready to get your hands all the way down to that mat. Now we're ready to come up. We want to do it really slowly. So let the knees bend. Pull the belly tight. As you roll up, keep the head down until the last moment. When you need to lift the head, eyes go forward. Shoulders go up and back. Broaden the chest. Find that perfect mountain pose. Inhale, bring the arms up, bring the palms together. Exhale, roll slowly down. Follow your hands. Come to forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Straighten that back. Heart lifts forward. Make sure the chest broadens here too. Don't curve the chest in because we've got our hands down here. Really work on opening that chest back up. Exhale, forward bend again. Roll it back up, second time. Again, arms out and up. Look at your hands as they come together. Slowly bring those hands to your heart. Back to mountain pose. One more time, inhale. If you want to dive into that forward bend now, you certainly can do that. Listen to your body. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward bend. Rolling up or reverse that dive. Easy little back bend at the top. Hands to the heart. Come back to mountain pose. All right. So we are only halfway through today, so I'm going to take a little extra time with our warrior work today. We are going to approach them from our downward dog. If that seems like more than you really want to do today in your own practice, feel free to stay upright and just join us in the poses when we get there. Or you can approach it from a hands and knees position. All right, but we're going to get back into that flow, and then again use the downward dog to transition. So again, it is a bit of work. So if it's something you want to give a try today, great, and if not, then you can ease out of it and just modify. So take another full breath here. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, dive into that forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. Now go through the same flow at your own pace. Except that when you come to your child's pose, as you come out of that, I want you to come to hands and knees just for a moment. Get everything lined up. Those 4 points of contact have even weight between them. Inhale, come into cow pose. Exhale, arch into cat pose. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Arching up as much as we can, lengthening as we go into cow. As much as we can. Inhale, exhale, cat. 2 more times. Inhale to cow. Exhale to downward dog. Bring that right foot off the mat. Extend the leg behind you. You can go hip level or higher, however you like. Take that right foot back down. Inhale, exhale, regular dog. Left leg up. Back to regular dog. Inhale, exhale. Step that right foot forward. Come to a high lunge. Make your way up slowly. You need to scoop the foot in first and then step back to find the good distance. Do that. Balancing on the ball of the left foot. That whole right foot's contacting the mat, but your hips are facing forward. We haven't opened it up yet. Bring the arms up. Shoulders down, lift the heart. Make sure you're stable. If you're too wiggly wobbly, bring that back foot in until we stabilize through here. But we are working a lot here, right? That internal belt. Pull it as tight as it can be. Take a breath in and out. Take a breath in. Exhale, twist to the right. Slowly open. Left arm reaching around to the front, right arm to the back. Inhale, come back up. Exhale into warrior one. Plant that back foot. Bring those arms into cactus arms. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. Inhale, reach the arms up. Stay here in warrior one. Inhale, extend the fingertips a little higher. Exhale, squeeze into those cactus arms again. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, open to warrior two. Open it up. 3 breaths here. Reverse warrior, bring that right arm up. Left hand anywhere on that back leg. Back to warrior two. Side angle pose. Extend that left arm up. Use blocks if you like. Use the leg if you like. Don't let anything roll inward. Next inhale brings you back to warrior two. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, turn to your high lunge again. Find that balance. Exhale, back down to downward dog. Step it back. 3 breaths here. So during the 3 breaths, it could be 4 if you like. You've got time to rest in child's pose if you need to. Join back in when you're ready. Go through the flow if you're really needing to push yourself today. Or just hang out here in downward dog. All right, when you're ready, left foot forward. Coming to that high lunge as we come up. Once you have the body in place, bring the arms up. Lift the heart. Don't move on until you feel really stable here. Take a breath in and out. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, back up. Exhale into warrior one. So just plant that right foot. Inhale here. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, reach the arms back up. Stay here, exhale. Inhale, extend the fingertips. Exhale, squeeze into cactus arms again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, open to warrior two. I'm going to flip around real quick. We're in our warrior two now on the left. Arms are shoulder height. Looking over that left hand. Reverse warrior, left arm up. Back to warrior two. Side angle pose. Really, this is such a good one. You know, when you get into that extended variation, you should be able to feel from the very tips of the fingertips, one long straight line to the outside of that right heel. I love the way it feels across the front of the right hip. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, turn to your high lunge again. From here, drop the hands, step back into your downward dog. Okay, so giving you a little information. If you want to rest for a minute, do that. We're going to do one more series. When we get upright from our downward dog, we're going to open the side of our mat in a straddle. We're going to do some work in the straddle. So maybe have the blocks over to the middle of your mat. Now we'll do it both times, right? And we'll go from right work to straddle and then left work to straddle. But we'll probably do the same exact thing there, just get a chance to do it twice. But I do encourage you to have the blocks. If you have trouble when you get into that straddle with the hands not being able to get down there, just have those blocks ready. I just don't want mine to be like in the way of what we're doing. Okay, So if you're not in downward dog yet, go ahead and join me now in downward dog. All right, so from here, what I want you to do is come into your warrior two. So that means taking that right foot through, putting it in the middle of the mat, lining that back foot up, and as we come up, we're already turning the body to the side of the mat, and we're going to repeat what we just did, reverse warrior. Back to warrior two. Side angle pose, regular or extended variation. All right, come back up to warrior two, and then we come into that straddle. So straighten the leg, turn the toes so both feet point to the edge of your, or the side of your mat. Now, make sure, especially in this position, because our feet are wider, right? Wider than we normally would have them. So we don't want to have weight rolling to the outside of the foot or the inside of the foot. It should still be like a mountain pose foot, right? So the feet aren't gripping, the arches are still lifted, and you feel weight throughout the whole foot. Roll the shoulders back, stand tall, inhale. Bring those hands together over the head, interlace your fingers, either one, because we'll try to do both. Lengthen the arms, press your shoulders down. You want a little distance here between the ears and the arms. You can also do palms up, but either way, we don't want to have our shoulders up around the neck and the ears. They're always down. Gently pull the arms further back. Don't push your head forward, but pull the arms back. So we really work on that shoulder flexibility. Now we're going to separate the hands. They're going to come right to the front of the hip, like we're kind of hooking them into our belt loops a little bit. We're going to inhale, lift the heart. Keep the spine long. Come into your forward bend. This is when you're going to want to maybe have blocks for each hand, or you can get your hand to the floor. I'm going to go with a flat block today. I've got one hand approximately under each shoulder. Inhale, straighten. Now you can just be on the finger pads, not tips, I guess it would be the pads, or you can do a flat palm. Whatever you need to do, but keep that back long and straight, all right? Now, you've got one hand under each shoulder. What I want you to do is move one block. Let's take the left hand or left block and bring it more centered under our heart. And we're going to bring this right hand up to that right hip. Now, inhale, lengthen. Make sure your spine is long. On the exhale, we're going to rotate the torso. Rotate the rib cage, turn to the right. You can open that right arm up, or you can just keep it at the hip, either the back side or kind of hooked into the front, whatever works. But we're really trying to get that spinal rotation here. Now, as you come back down, before you change hands, take this right hand under, behind that left arm, and I want you to just try to reach over and touch that left foot. And again, try to keep everything else relaxed. It's a pretty intense stretch. So you can grab the ankle or the foot. And then we want to come back to that flat back, one hand under each shoulder, take a breath in and out. All right, we're going to switch it. So to bring the right block or even just the right hand under the heart, bring that left hand around to the left hip. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twisting to the left. Again, keep the spine straight. Rotate to the left. Optional arm up. And then as you come down, this arm's going to go behind the right arm. And we're going to try to reach over and somewhere grab that right foot or ankle and try to keep everything else relaxed. All right, and then go ahead and take the hand and place each hand back under each shoulder. Inhale, straighten the spine. Now, to come back in, I want you to bring your heels a little closer together and then the toes walk in, and the heels and toes, just to about mountain pose, maybe slightly wider. And I want you to roll it back up, head comes up last. Once you're upright, roll the shoulders back. Set up your warrior two again. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, drop back down to that downward dog. So as you come down, hands come down, step back right. I'm going to flip around and do the other side. But for now, stay in downward dog another breath or two. All right, left foot through. Warrior two as you come up. Opening to the side of the mat again. Arms at shoulder height. Relax the shoulders. Tighten up those arms. Look over the left hand. Reverse warrior. Back to warrior two. Side angle pose. Back to warrior two. All right, come to that straddle again. Make sure that if you're going really, really wide, you are able to maintain that flat foot. If your feet are rolling, either way, you gotta bring it in a tiny bit. And make sure that you don't bring in one leg more than the other, if that makes sense. We do wanna have our weight evenly distributed right in the middle. Arms at shoulder height. Now, we're gonna go overhead again. If you can do the opposite grip, do that. You have one that you do without thinking. Try to do the other one. Are you able to keep the hands together? If not, you can go back to the other one, but lengthen the arms either way. Press your shoulders down. Option to turn those palms up, even in this position, same thing, shoulders down. So we want to have that space on either side of the head. Start to gently pull the arms back. All right. Stretching alongside or into those shoulders. Bring the hands back to the hips. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, come into that forward bend again. Now this time we're going to just work on the same things a little quicker and then add one more thing. So start out, inhale. Bring the left hand under the heart. Stay there, exhale, right hand to the hip. Inhale, exhale, twist to the right and hold it right there. So just maybe noticing that the second time it hopefully feels a little easier. Or maybe you just go a little further. Take that hand under you and reach over for that left foot. All right, coming back to one hand under each shoulder. Inhale, straighten the spine. Slide that other block or right hand under the heart. Bring your left hand around to your left hip. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist to the left. Same thing, open that shoulder if you can. If not, you can keep the hand right here. And then this hand comes under and goes across to the right foot. All right, coming back to one hand under each shoulder. So all we're gonna do now is take our hand, and you can keep the blocks with you. I'm just not gonna use them, but we're gonna walk our hands under us and either go to the back edge of the mat for a really deep forward bend, or you can also just kind of loop around the big toes or hold the ankle, but I want that upper body to completely hang here. Whatever's going to put you into the deepest forward bend you can get into here, but maintain it. So we're going to hang out here for about 5 more breaths. right, so as we come out of it, we're gonna challenge ourselves today. So bring those hands back to that safe position we've been in most of the time, hands under the shoulders. Inhale, straighten the spine. Now, if you don't want to attempt this, or if your lower back has maybe been bugging you a bit, I would recommend you walk the feet in and roll it up. But this is going to be our challenge for today. If you want to join me, you have a flat back. That belly is nice and tight. Soften the knees just a tiny bit, but bring those hands to the front of the hip crease and keep the back long and straight as you slowly bring yourself upright. Did you make it? All right, roll those shoulders back a couple of times, and when you're ready, go into your warrior two on the left again. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, from here we go all the way back down to that downward facing dog. I'm going to flip around to the other side. All right, so take a few more breaths here. Really lengthen it all back out. And then walk the feet in. Come to the top of the mat, into that forward bend. And roll it back up. When you're ready, come into your mountain pose. Bring the arms away, hand to the heart, and mountain pose. Get a quick little drink if you need it. We're going to work on our balancing now. I just looked at the clock. Yes, can't spend too much time up here, but I feel like we got a lot of work done today. Okay, so we're going to do tree pose because we worked on that frog leg today, right? Choose the best spot in your room. You like the wall or doorway for a little extra help. You can have it against, you can have it to your side or behind you, or if you're freestanding on the mat, it's fine too. Wherever you begin, you want to make sure you're in mountain pose. Don't just flop that leg up and think you're going to balance. Stand tall, open the chest, pull through the crown of the head, but also engage that core internally. All right, whichever leg you want to start on, you want to balance on, turn the other knee out. Don't see a big dramatic shift happening as you shift that weight. Now, you can keep your foot on the ground the whole time. You can slide that foot up, below the knee, above the knee. I never know if I have the slippery tights on, it's pretty hard. I'm going lower. But wherever you are, remember the goal is to press the knee out, not lift the foot high, right? And nothing else shifting. So try to maintain that posture wherever you were. Find a focal point. Maybe not the computer, especially if I'm not balancing, and that's no good. Find something to focus on. Keep growing. Trees do move. You might move a little bit, but see if your trunk can keep you in place. I don't mean trunk, I mean trunk. A few more. Now, when you come out of it, if you can come out of it gracefully, great. We want to come back to mountain pose in between. Now, if you're balancing the best you've ever balanced, stay there and enjoy it. You can join me whenever you're ready. But we do want to start on both feet, back in mountain pose. Whenever you're ready, turn that other leg out. Same thing, wherever the foot places, it doesn't have to stay there. We're not gluing it. You can go down or up, but focus on keeping that knee out. Stand tall, keep that posture. Again, eyes can be up or down. Just don't let the head go with it. All right. Stay there as long as you want to. But when you're done with that, it's time to make our way back down to the mat. It might be a couple minutes later than our 1 hour, just to tell you. But come back to mountain pose. Take a breath in and out. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend, hands to the mat. Come to plank again. Inhaling as you get there. Exhale as you lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Bring the arms in. Take about 5 breaths to rest. We did a lot of work today. For our first time back, well, hopefully you found a good balance of challenging and feeling successful. All right, now as you come out of this, come out nice and slow, and we're just gonna extend the legs in front. We're just gonna do one forward bend here. Extend the legs all the way out. You wanna feel those hips nice and even on the mat under you, shoulders back. Bring the arms up first, inhale. Get as tall as you can, then go into that forward bend. Inhale, lengthen the back. Exhale, lower. So take some time, get into this. All right, slowly coming out of that, letting the knees bend a little bit. If you want to roll to your side and come onto your back, do that. If you want to work the abs just a little bit, you're just going to roll back slowly, keeping the abs contracted. Once you get to the mat, knees are going to come in. Doesn't that feel good? Feeling that lower back both lengthening and spreading wider into the mat. I love that little, that feeling of, it's a weird concept in my brain, but of rolling out dough. If you roll out dough at all, I don't know. Okay, now let's do the same twist that we did earlier. So let's go to the right first. That means the right leg goes down and the left knee stays in. And we're not going to keep that right foot flexed right now. Just let it point or be kind of in that neutral position. We're going to open that left arm, take that deep breath in. Exhale, twist left knee across to the right. All right, as we come out of it, before we go into the other leg, let's do a quick little hip stretch here. Now you know you can keep that right foot down if you like. This is a great stretch for the backside, but right foot comes up, we're just going to feel it deeper or differently. So go where you want to, first thread the needle. All right. Let's uncross. Again, that little back roll feels so good. This time the right leg will, right knee will stay in as the left leg goes out. All right, next inhale, here we go. Open that right arm. Exhale, twist and bring the right knee across toward the left. And we come out of that, same thing. Take that right foot across your left knee. Stay there or bring the foot up. Now remember, I sometimes, I guess I do this every time. I bring my head up, make that connection, but then you need to be able to bring the head and shoulders back down. If you can't, that's a little too much tension in the upper body, so it'd be better to just keep the foot down and focus on the stretch at that point. So you guys know that, right? But wherever you are, again, just kind of enjoying that stretch. And you know, this is, you can move this a bit, you can roll a little bit if that feels good. So we didn't really do a lot of twists today. I do want to do one more, and we're kind of running out of time, but let's just quickly, keeping the feet and knees touching. Now you can bring your feet onto the mat. It's just going to lessen the intensity of it a little bit. So maybe that's where you want to be, or feet up. But wherever you go, let's do knees together to the right. Inhale first, exhale, let them drop. Look to the left. Try to keep the spine long so the hips aren't moving way over to the other side of the mat. Always want to try to open the opposite arm and keep the shoulder down. All right, knees come up. Exhale, twist them left, look to the right. All right, bring those knees up. Roll back a little bit. Let's come into happy baby just for a moment. This hips on so many levels, right? The back, the hips, the legs. Again, it can be an active pose, or you can just remain in place, whatever's feeling the best right now. All right, as we come out of it, bring the legs together. Stretch your legs out long and take those arms overhead again. Inhale, stretch fingers to toes. Exhale, relax. And we're going to keep those arms overhead. We're going to do it a couple times. We want to get it as fully extended and get as much stretch out of it as we can. So on that inhale again, stretch fingers to toes. Exhale, relax. One last time, inhale, stretch. Now exhale, let's get into Savasana. So whatever that is for you, and that can include getting a blanket or a sweater for you, getting the legs up the wall, whatever you need to give yourself those last few moments, few minutes, couple minutes really, but it's such an important part of what you've just done. I know it's really almost unavoidable that our brains immediately jump to what's happening next, right? So try to let that go for a minute. Take a breath in. How does your body feel? Feel a little tension? Let's guide that breath into those tight areas and let them relax. Inhaling again, just be aware of the breath. On the exhale, same thing, that body's feeling heavier and more relaxed. Body's calm, mind is calm. Inhale again. Exhale, relax. Do a few more. Let yourself get into that space that you are truly relaxed. I'm not even going to talk. I want you to just enjoy it. See if you can completely let go. And just rest. like to stay on your back a while longer, please do. You're ready to start moving. I want you to move the fingers and toes really gently at first. Tiny little movements. As they start to wake up, you can make those movements just a little bit bigger. Then the hands and feet can start to move, get that blood flowing a little more. You can come back up to any position that's comfortable for you. Bring your hands to your heart. I'm going to say namaste. I'm going to come back to you. And you can unmute yourself.